I emailed Epic Games about Red Team Leader, however, they never messaged me back. Red Team Leader, won't let me equip another skin. I could only use him. But there was an option to wear or not to wear the mask. I preferred to leave the mask on, since without it, he looked terrifying. Today I found out that I unlocked a new ability for Red Team Leader since I reached level 66. It was not one, but two new taunts called Maniac and Shuriken. When I was in the lobby, I noticed that Red Team Leader wasn't pink at all anymore at the beginning. Before it took kills to get his skin to turn red, now it just was. In between this and the new taunts, I was curious as to what new horrors await me. I drop Shifty Shafts and I find nothing. I'm running all over the place trying to find a gun, but I can't find one. All of a sudden, a guy rushes me with a tactical and I think it's game over. But Red Team Leader does that chopping block taunt again. Only this time, he cuts the player in half with his axe. Not his head, his body. I pick up his tactical and I continue onward. The circle is placed more so to the right side of the map, so I make my way to Salty Springs. Inside Salty Springs, I start getting shot at by a Zoe. I was going to finish her off with my tactical, but Red Team Leader used one of its new taunts called Shuriken, and he takes out these knives. They're solid black with red down the middle, and throws them at the Zoe, killing her instantly. I was starting to get concerned because not only am I not able to use another skin, but now Red Team Leader can just kill whenever he wants? As soon as the Zoe died, Red Team Leader did something. He did something he's never done before. I noticed its hair had grown longer and sharper, like armor, and I noticed he was bleeding at his neck, the one place that you could see his skin. At this point, I was done. I was just fed up. Epic Games never wrote me back, and I couldn't even use any other skins. I went to leave the match, but it wouldn't let me. I tried to turn my stuff off, but it stayed on, and Red Team Leader continued to play. But he was playing all alone. He didn't need me to control him with a controller. He was perfectly fine here. He makes it all the way until there are 3 people, counting himself. The circle is ending in Dusty Divot, and Red Team Leader gets pinned in between the 2 final solo players. I thought it was game over until he used it. He used the other taunt. Maniac. What I saw, I'll never forget. He takes out 2 small axes and he slowly walks over to one of them, taking bullet after bullet. He's able to get up into striking distance of the confused and no doubt scared player, and he slashes him in the face and in his back on the way down. At that point, I saw that he was bleeding even more around his neck. This time, to the final player, he runs. He runs after him. And while the player was reloading, Red Team Leader took one of the axes in his hand and he threw it at the player. It hit the player's face, right in between the eye. It said that Red Team Leader had won. He let out this fierce, spine-chilling roar. He takes off his mask again, and I see where all the blood was coming from. His jawbone is broken now, and his mouth is wide open. You can see all the bones and blood. He lets out another roar, causing his jawbone to sink lower. He points at me. He takes the axe and puts it to his throat, and then points back at me. My TV and my Fortnite all shut off. I will keep you all updated soon. I know Red Team Leader is coming.